This is Florida Gulf Coast University.
Delivering. You're 32 years old and delivering pizzas. Your manager is 21. Your co-deliverer, let's call him Dave, is late 50s and gray, bushy eyebrows, an unshaven and untucked shirt with an explosion of gray hair at his unbuttoned collar. Always a razorback cap, because this is Fayetteville, Arkansas. Dave doesn't like you because, among other things, you're a graduate student and he's a lifer. You stand in the hot little back room of Pizza Hut, folding pizza boxes out of brilliantly designed pieces of cardboard and watching the television monitor that gives the address of the next delivery. Whichever driver's at the monitor gets it. Next guy in gets the next delivery, and so on. Sometimes they stack up, 3, 4, 5 addresses in a row, and you've noticed that Dave often takes one lower down the line, out of order. You start to look for a pattern, and after you've been delivering for a few weeks, you're terrible at it though, delivering. This has to be said. You have no sense of direction. You wind up and down the nauseating mountains around Fayetteville with 2, 3, 4 pieces cooling in their padded carrier on the seat beside you. You contemplate being a 32-year-old grad student, that Dave hates you for it. He sees you as a young punk born with a silver spoon in his mouth, all that. Never mind that that's as far from the truth as you are from the present address clenched in your fingers, the wrongly numbered mailboxes clicking past. Unaware of student loans, you paid for your own college, 9 years for a BA in English, working in a warehouse, 3 months, at a factory that made sandblasting grit, 4 years, a chemical plant, 3 years. You worked first, second, third shifts, doubles, triples. You commuted. You did time in offices, gas stations, automotive repair shops, in a hospital morgue, as well as delivering, but that's another story, for the Epicurean Dinner Club. You once took 5 classes while working 80 hours a week, got 4 A's and a B, and now, at last, you're where you were meant to be, in the Master of Fine Arts program at the University of Arkansas. You've met the woman you're going to marry, have made good friends, have never been happier. You've put your writing first, for the first time in your life, and you've realized the series of jobs you worked in your 20s have provided you with a writer's education, which differs from the academic one the University of Arkansas is giving you. Summers, though, when the cash is slow, you find yourself broken up to venture into the unspooling streets of Fayetteville, the pizza's ever cooler, about to call the hut for directions again, to be told again how to get there, and then stand again with a tepid large everything, facing the face that says, "No tip, buddy." And hearing that eternal question, "Ain't it free if it ain't here in under half an hour?" "No," you grumble, "that's Domino's, or was. They quit doing it because pizza drivers kept getting killed." Is this true? Maybe. Back in the car, back on the road, back into the Pizza Hut parking lot where Dave's Dodge pickup sits there chugging. There's another thing about Dave. He has this youngish wife and this toddler daughter. You know this because they come to work with him, show up at 11 each day and sit there in the truck as Dave goes in for his first delivery. Then they ride with him as he delivers and ride back and sit and waiting in the truck with the windows open as he pushes the flapping gray door and emerges a few moments later with another box. This ride-alongs is against the rules, but nobody, Roger, the manager, or the 21-year-old shift manager, Rick, or you, says anything. One of the perks of working at Pizza Hut is that you get a meal at each shift, whatever you want within reason. At some point, a lull in deliveries, Dave will order 3 personal pan pizzas for him and his family, and breadsticks. They'll drink fountain sodas and sit there on the Ford's bench seat, on the Dodge's bench seat, I found a mistake in here, on the Dodge's bench seat and eat facing forward, listening to the Cardinals. The girl reads sometimes, but the mother and wife, she just sits. You pass them, not making eye contact, as you push back into the hut, your padded deliverer cold from the last pie. Dave's there watching the empty screen. Rick, the manager, long black ponytail, thin, is trying to get Dave to form boxes out of the stacks of cardboard on the shelves. You cash in and come to the back and excuse yourself past Rick and begin making boxes. Rick gives you a grateful look, and Dave shoots you one that says, "You're a kiss-ass little college prick." Truth is, you like making boxes. The quick progress in product, faster the more expert you become. One thing you've found to be true when writing stories is that when you're in the middle of figuring something out, a plot problem, any small, real-life accomplishment helps. A crossword puzzle, filling the recycling bin, making a pizza box. They all feel like a kind of progress. Also, mindless handwork somehow frees your mind to find its own answers, fold its own boxes. But not now. Now, as your fingers crimp and tuck, Dave and Rick engaged in a staring match. 4 addresses appear on the television. "Watch it," Dave says as he steps past Rick, closer to the screen, and squints through his bifocals. 102 Olive, he says, going to the ticker and tearing off 2 tickets, the first and the third. You say, "That's out of order." He barely looks at you. "So?" "What's the logic," you say, perhaps the wrong way to phrase it, in taking whatever address you want? "The logic," he says, looking over his glasses at you, "is that I'm faster than you are." What he does, you tell Rick, is take the addresses with the best tippers. You hate how your voice sounds, like a tattletale, and that the authority figure you're tattling to is a decade younger than you are, and the peer you're tattling on is 20 years older and getting mad. And how can you blame him? With his family out in the truck, waiting, living on tips, and here you come, hot snot, grad student, challenging him with logic. "Well," you say to Rick. "Dave," he says, "that's not really fair." "Fair?" Dave says, looking from me to Rick and back. Dave doesn't know now that he'll be fired in a year or so for a scam he'll perpetrate, a selection of coupons he'll apply to a customer's payment, pocketing the difference. You'll graduate with your brand new MFA and move up to being a receptionist at the Best Western Inn and Suites, just off the interstate, second shift weekends. You'll find you're not suited for this type of work either. But now, fair, Dave says again. You could play the wife and child card, how they're outside right now, against the same Pizza Hut policy machine that demanded you shave your beard. But if you did that, wouldn't open the back door to where they sat, patient as a photograph, said, "Ride-alongs are against the rules," what would happen then? Where would they go? The truth is, you're not entirely sure if the truck's not their home. So you pull off your Pizza Hut cap and shirt and stand there in your T-shirt. Somehow, it feels right and even a little heroic. You say it, "I quit." And you walk past Rick, who folds his arms betrayed, shaking his head. Dave is already looking back at the screen as more addresses appear. He'll get them all now. We'll take 4 or 5 at once. You walk outside into the cool mountain air and nod to Dave's wife and child confined in their truck as some redbird hits a liner up the middle. That's how you feel. You just got a hit. Not a homer or even a double, but that great sweet spot bonk as the softball zings off your bat past the shortstop's glove and you're racing toward first. You get in your Nissan and crank it up. Well, you suppose, shifting into reverse, shouldn't every writer walk off at least one job? Won't you grow via experience, deepen into a deeper man? Certainly, these cold pieces will wind up in a story somewhere, sometime.